Hi students, welcome to the second video of the methodology classes. So this year we are focusing mainly on the multiple choice questions. Basically, there are two ways. If we if we write the correct answer of the MCQs, we get the full marks. There is no deduction of the marks in the steps or the calculations. And second, we don't need to worry about the steps in this, so we can save a lot of time in these 20 questions. And if we save time, then we can focus on the more important questions of the long answer type questions. So let's quickly start. So today we are going to discuss the second chapter, that is polynomials. So the first question which we have chosen here is, if alpha beta are zeros of the polynomials x square plus 12x plus 6, then find the value of 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. So one way, or the first thing which comes in our mind is, we can find out the values of the alpha and beta, the roots of this equation. Roots and zeros are basically the same thing, so we don't need to worry about that. So we can find out the values of alpha and beta, substitute in this and calculate that. But that will take a lot of time. First we have to solve this question by splitting the middle term, then we have to find out the values of alpha and beta, then we will put in this equation and then we will solve that. But if we look here, we know that we can find out the value of alpha plus beta and alpha beta directly from this equation, as we know the relationship between the coefficient of the equation and the roots. So if I can convert anyhow this equation in the terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta, then I can quickly get the answer and save my time. So the given equation is 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. So if I simplify it by taking the LCM, I will get alpha plus beta divided by alpha beta. So I converted this equation 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta in the terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta, so that I can find out the values of sum of the roots, that is alpha plus beta, directly from this equation, that is minus b by a minus times the coefficient of x divided by the coefficient of x square. So I can write this as minus 12 because the coefficient of x square is 1, and the product of the roots, that is alpha beta, that is c by a. So c is the constant term, that is 6, divided by the coefficient of x square, that is 1, so that is 6. So minus 12 by 6, if I will simplify it, I will get minus 2. So my answer will be minus 2. Now quickly moving to the next question, that is the value of x for which the value of the polynomials this and this are equal. So I have to find out a value of x where the value of 9 minus x square and 6x plus x square plus 9 are equal. So this is easy question, we don't need to worry. So if we assume that k is the value of the x where the value of the polynomial 9 minus x square and 6x plus x square plus 9 are equal, so I can write that at x is equal to k, 9 minus k square will be equal to 6x, sorry, I have to replace x by k, so 6k plus k square plus 9. As we have assumed that at x is equal to k, the value of both the polynomials are equal. Now we can shift everything on the one side. So let's shift everything on the right hand side. So minus k square will become plus k square. So 2k square plus 6k, and 9 is positive on both the sides, so it will cancel out, is equal to 0. Now we can take 2k common. So if I take 2k common, so it will be k plus 3 is equal to 0. Now we can see product of two terms, that is 2k and k plus 3 is 0. So product of two things will be 0 only if at least one of them is 0. So either 2k is equal to 0 or k plus 3 is equal to 0. So 2k will be 0 when k will be 0, or k plus 3 will be 0 when k will be minus 3. Now 0 is not any one of the options, so we can write the option D as our answer. That is, k should be minus 3. Means the value of x is minus 3 when both the polynomials have the same value. So what we did in this is, we assumed that x is equal to k, the value of the polynomial 9 minus x square and 6x plus x square plus 9 is equal. Now we substituted k in place of x, so it became 9 minus k square, and the second polynomial 6x plus x square plus 9 became 6k plus k square plus 9. We shifted everything on one of the sides and simplified it. We got the answer that the value of k will be either 0 or minus 3. 0 was not any one of the options, so we ticked the option D. Now the third question, if the square of the difference of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial is equal to 81, then the value of PR. So in such type of questions, we have to be very careful in understanding what the question is saying. If we understand the question carefully, then our half the question is solved at that place only. So the question is saying, if the square of the difference, so there is a difference between the square of the difference and the difference of the squares. There is a lot of difference between them. So it is saying square of the difference. So first, if we assume square of the difference of the zeros. So if we assume that the zeros of these polynomials are alpha and beta, so it is saying square of the difference. So the difference between alpha and beta is alpha minus beta, and it is saying square of the difference, so I have to square it, of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial is 81. So this is equal to 81. Then find the value of p. So we have to find out the value of p if the square of the difference between the zeros of this polynomial is 81. Now alpha minus beta whole square. So we cannot find out alpha beta from this directly, right? Because we have an unknown p here. So we will try to again, as in the first question, we will try to convert alpha minus beta in terms of basically alpha minus beta whole square in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. So we know one of the relationship, that is, we can write alpha minus beta whole square as alpha plus beta whole square minus 4 alpha beta. So this is the relationship between alpha minus beta whole square and alpha plus beta whole square. As you can open both the brackets, we will get the left hand side will be equal to the right hand side. So using this thing, we will try to solve this question. So in place of alpha minus beta whole square, I can write alpha plus beta whole square minus 4 alpha beta, and that is given to be equal to 81. So alpha plus beta, the coefficient of y or x, the variable can be anything, x, y, z, whatever. So the coefficient of y, its negative is alpha plus beta. So I can write minus p whole square, as the coefficient of y square is 1. So we have to just write p minus 4 times alpha beta, that is alpha beta is a product of the roots. So product of the roots is constant divided by the coefficient of y square. So constant is 36. So I can write 36 is equal to 81. So from here I can write p square and minus 4 into 36 is 144 is equal to 81. So p square, I will shift minus 144 to this side, so it will be 225. So the square of p is equal to 225, so p can be plus minus 50. So our option B will be the answer. So what we learned in this is, we have to be very careful in understanding the question. Square of the difference and difference of the squares is very crucial. Now moving to the next question, that is fourth. So the fourth question is saying, if alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomials 2x square plus 7x plus 5, then value of alpha minus beta will be. So as discussed in the previous two questions, we can find out the value of the roots alpha and beta from here by splitting the middle term. But similarly, as we discussed in the previous questions, we can arrange these questions, whatever they are asking, in the terms of what we can find out easily from the equation. So if I take minus common in this, so alpha beta minus alpha plus beta. Because negative sign is taken out, so both will be positive. Now product of the roots from any equation is a constant term divided by the coefficient of x square. So that will be 5 by 2 minus alpha plus beta, that is the sum of the roots. So sum of the roots here is minus b by a, so it will be minus 7 by 2. So we have to be careful here because minus sign is there, so we cannot write minus 7 by 2. We have to take minus common, and then in the bracket it will be minus 7 by 2. So we can write 5 by 2, and negative times negative is positive, 7 by 2. As the denominator is same, so it is easy to add. So 5 plus 7 is 12 divided by 2. So if I simplify it, we will get 6 as the answer. Now moving to the fifth question, that is, if minus 4 is a 0 of this polynomial, then the value of k is. So we know the 0 of any polynomial is the value of x where the value of the polynomial turns into 0. So minus 4 is a 0 of the polynomial. It means p of minus 4 is equal to 0. Now p of x is x square minus x minus times in bracket 2 plus 2k. So p of minus 4 means I have replaced x by minus 4 on the left hand side. So all the x on the right hand side will also be changed to minus 4. So p of minus 4 will be minus 4 square minus minus 4 minus 2 plus 2k. So this should be equal to 0. We have to be careful here. It is minus x. So the value of x is minus 4. So it will be minus of minus 4, not only minus 4. So minus 4 square is 16, and minus of minus is plus 4. And if I open the bracket, the signs will change. So minus 2 minus 2k is equal to 0. So 16 plus 4, 20, 20 minus 2, 18, minus 2k is equal to 0. So we can say 18 is equal to 2k. So if we divide by 2 on both the sides, so we will get the value of k is 9. So our answer is option B, that is 9. So what we learned here is, if in question it is asking the value of some combination of the roots, that is alpha and beta, so we will first try to express whatever is asked in the terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta, because the value of alpha plus beta and alpha beta is easier to find out from the equation. We will not directly jump to find out the value of alpha and beta directly. And second thing we learned in this video is, we have to read and understand the question very carefully, because if we understood the question carefully, then half the question is done at that place only. I hope you would have enjoyed this video. We will meet in the next part of the polynomials with some more interesting questions. So till then, take care. Bye.